talking about the light of God. And yesterday, the Lord opened our eyes to see the dangers of darkness, the danger of living in darkness. And we have established that darkness connotes sinful life. Darkness is of the devil. Satan is the chief commander of darkness. Darkness causes delay and sluggishness. Darkness causes unplanned accidents. Darkness causes lack of direction. Darkness causes desolate and unpeople of kindness. Darkness devoid of God's good work in the life of people. So this morning, the Lord wants to teach us another aspects of darkness, so that when we come to the light of God, we'll be able to appreciate the goodness of God's light in our lives and in the lives of people around us. So what the Lord wants us to know this morning, or what God wants to teach us this morning, is called characters and results of darkness. Characters and results of darkness. Our established Bible verse still remains Genesis chapter 1 verse 2, and which says that, and God said, let there be light, and there was light. But in verse 2 says, and the earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep, and the Spirit of the Lord moved upon the face of the waters. So as the Spirit of God is passing the message this morning, I want you to be alert to know what the Spirit of God is communicating to your spirit, into your mind, into your soul. So characters and result of darkness is that darkness is the absence of light, which means that darkness is the direct opposite of light. Darkness is the direct opposite of light. So where there's no light, definitely there will be what? Darkness. So where the light of God is not available in the life of a man, in the life of a woman, in the life of a child, in the life of any man or anyone, then devil, who is the chief commander of darkness, will be in that life. Devil will be in that family. Devil will be in that home where there is no light, where the light of God is absent. Then darkness will be there, because darkness is the absence of God lights. Because darkness is the absence of God's lights. Darkness means evil, evildoers. So people that do evil represent darkness. We find that in Job 34 verse 22. So people who do evil, whose mind is full of evil, whose character is full of doing wickedness. Wickedness connotes committing sin daily in their daily lives. That is darkness. That is evil. And when a life is full of doing evil, doing whatever that contradicts the will of God, that life is living in darkness. So how have you been living your life, brothers and sisters? Have you been living in darkness? Have you been living in doing all sort of evil, all sort of wickedness against fellow human? Darkness. So there is need for light in your life. Darkness is intellectual blindness. We already established that darkness connotes blindness. So it could be spiritual badness, it could be intellectual blindness, it could be physical badness at the same time. So darkness represents blindness in whatever way that you can print the picture of blindness of a person. And when a person is blind, the person lost sight. Such person cannot see clearly whatever is ahead, whatever is coming, whatever is around the person, the fellow is blind because the person is living in darkness. So the light of God is that lamp that shines on the path of a man and the path of a woman, that brought about direction. Because we talk about lack of direction as one of the dangers of darkness. Darkness means physical blindness. That is what happened to Saul before he became Paul. He was blind physically for good 3 days. That is what happened to a man, to a woman who is not living in the light of God. The person is spiritually blind, the person is intellectually blind, the person is physically blind when the light of God is not in a man's life. Darkness is the world's dominant evil powers, the power of wicked places, the power of high priests of the world. That's what they use to manipulate destinies of people, particularly those that are not in Christ Jesus. Is what? The power of darkness, evil power, power of wizard, power of witches, power of mami water, power of dark people, or people of the dark world. So what they avail, what they use to manipulate in their dark kingdom is darkness. And that is why they operate in the darkness. They cannot operate in the light, because John chapter 1 verse 5 say, when light appears, darkness could not withstand it. So darkness cannot comprehend light. That's never happened, and it will never happen in the history of man. Darkness has the burden of being cursed. That is a curse placed on a person, on a man, on a woman, on a child. Darkness represents curse. What's a pity for somebody to be living in darkness. Darkness has the implication of being wicked and doing all sort of evil works. All sort of evil works. That is what darkness represents. Darkness is the metaphor of judgment. The judgment of God upon wicked people. Darkness is the metaphor of God's judgment on the last day. The last day, which is the day of judgment. Darkness. Darkness is the metaphor of the utter part of darkness, where the final judgment will be placed upon wicked people. And who are those wicked people? People who have come to live in this world without knowing Christ. Without knowing Christ. Because Christ is the light of God.